The EcoSport, Ford's most compact SUV, is a revitalised package in this revised form, aimed more precisely at the fashionable needs of city-bound but adventurous buyers. With smarter styling, a completely upgraded cabin, improved infotainment provision, and at the top of the range, a fresh four-wheel drive option paired with an efficient 1.5-litre turbo diesel engine. If you're looking for a small Super Mini-based crossover and haven't considered this car in the past, it's now worth a second look. The news that this car is based on a Ford Fiesta should certainly set you off in a positive frame of mind when it comes to the drive-on offer. The issue, though, is one of exactly what would happen to a Fiesta if you gave it a relatively lofty 190mm ride height, 136 kilograms of extra weight, and a chunky high-riding body. After all, even Ford's chassis engineers aren't miracle workers, something which is fairly evident from the driving experience served up by this car. To be fair, the Blue Oval brand has much improved it, tweaking the springs, dampers and steering of this revised model in order to make it better suit European roads. And there have been some wins as part of that process. The consistent and well-weighted steering, for example, is way better than before. Plus, the brakes are impressive, the shift change of the 6-speed manual gearbox is slick, and highway cruising is pretty refined. Ultimately, though, what could be achieved here was rather limited by the high, boxy shape, a big contributing factor to the way the car feels uncomfortable with fast cornering or sudden directional changes at speed. It also rides quite stiffly on its firm suspension. Still, it's nothing that you couldn't live with, and most likely buyers won't want to drive on their door handles anyway. Engine-wise, most customers will choose the 125 PS version of the 1-litre EcoBoost petrol engine familiar from the Fiesta, the unit you have to have if you want the option of automatic transmission. This variant is capable of 54.3 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle and 119 grams per kilometre in manual form. This 3-cylinder petrol power plant is also available in 100 PS and 140 PS guises. Plus, there are a couple of 1.5-litre TDCi diesel options, a normally aspirated unit developing 100 PS and a preferable turbo Eco Blue version putting out 125 PS and solely available with Ford's intelligent all-wheel drive system. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? What was previously a cutesy and cartoonish shape is now far more mature and purposeful, featuring a front three-quarter profile that Ford says was inspired by rucksack straps. It's all supposed to reflect what the brand likes to see as this EcoSport's adventurous character. As you've probably noticed, the biggest changes feature here at the front end, where the rather awkward basking shark-style nose of the original model has been replaced by this sleeker trapezoidal grille that gives the car more of a family resemblance to Ford's larger Cougar and Edge SUV models. Plus, above entry-level trim, you get the roof rails that now seem to be an almost obligatory feature on a model in this segment. And talking of trends, Ford has got with the one that sees buyers in this sector wanting to order their small SUVs with contrast-coloured roofs, this being an option with this mid-range trim level and a standard feature on the top ST line variant that also features a full body kit. Let's take a seat behind the wheel in a completely redesigned cabin that's very different from the down-market interior provided by earlier versions of this model. Fit, finish and trimming is of a much higher standard, as is the infotainment provision, upgraded to the Sync 3 status you'll find in the most recent 7th generation Fiesta. On most variants, this is accessed by this large 8-inch centre dash screen, which features navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto smartphone mirroring, and an optional B&O Play 10-speaker audio system. Onto rear seat space. Getting in isn't especially easy, as the door aperture is quite narrow. But once inside, you'll find the back of an EcoSport a surprisingly pleasant place to be, thanks not only to the high, airy roofline, but also to the fact that the rear seats are set slightly above those in the front for a better view out. Finally, let's take a look out back, where the side-hinged tailgate can make boot access rather awkward, particularly if you're backed close to a wall. Inside, an Unremarkable 356-litre trunk capacity is on offer. If you push forward the 60/40 split rear backrest, it's extendable to 1,238 litres. In this guise, the EcoSport is a much more promising prospect. It looks a more serious product and is in almost every respect. The EcoBoost petrol engines remain a big draw, plus as before this car is properly priced and decently equipped. We're also very much impressed by the extent to which the cabin's been so greatly improved. Ultimately, it's been hard for Ford to get round this model's fundamentally South American origins. In this form, though, rivals will at last have to start taking the EcoSport seriously. It is finally a very credible contender.